Good morning children. I welcome you all to the next video of class 11th accountancy. We are going to start with the 7th chapter, that is the next theoretical chapter, double entry system in this video. So double entry system, first of all we need to know what is double entry system. According to this system, every business transaction affects at least two accounts in opposite direction. For example, if the furniture is purchased in the business, furniture is increased whereas the cash is decreased. There can be no transaction in the business which affects only one account or has only one aspect. As such, both the aspects of every transactions are recorded under this system. It may, however, be noted that the double entry does not mean that a transaction is recorded twice, but it means that at least two accounts are affected by a transaction. One account receiving a benefit and the other account yielding a benefit. Now we move ahead to the definition. Every business transaction has twofold effect, and that is affect two accounts in opposite direction. And if a complete record were to be made of each transaction, it would necessarily be debit one account and credit the other. It is this recording of twofold effect of every transaction that has given rise to the term double entry system. Now we move ahead to the principles of double entry system. So the first principle of double entry system is every business transaction affects two accounts. Every business transaction has twofold effect. It affects two accounts simultaneously, one debit and other credit. Certain transactions may affect more than two accounts, but the amount of the accounts to be debited and credited will always be equal. Then next is recording of both personal and impersonal aspects. Both personal and impersonal aspects of transactions are recorded in double entry. It is possible that both the aspects of a transaction may be personal or both may be impersonal, or one may be personal and the other may be impersonal. Then third, recording is made according to certain specified rules. Okay. So what is that? In double entry, once one account is debited, the other is credited. It does not mean that any account can be debited and any can be credited. There are certain rules of debiting and crediting the accounts, and credits and debits are made on the basis of these rules only. Then preparation of trial balance. Since one account is debited and other is credited, total of all debits is always equal to total of all credits. This helps in finding out the arithmetic accuracy of the accounting records. This is done by preparing a trial balance. Okay, now we are going to classify the accounts. They can be classified as personal accounts. Then in impersonal account, it can be real and nominal. And real can be classified as tangible and intangible. So I am going to explain you separately. Okay. So the very first is personal account. The accounts which relate to an individual, firm, company or an institution are called personal accounts. Accounts of Mohan, Ramchandra, Krishan Chandra, account of DCM Limited, then bank account, capital account, drawings of the proprietor are examples of personal accounts. Okay. The rule of the recording of personal account is debit the receiver and credit the giver. In other words, debit the person's account who receives something from the business and credit that person's account who gives something to the business. We can take an example also. Paid 20,000 rupees to Hari. In this case, two accounts affected, that is Hari and cash, and the rule is debit the receiver. So who is receiving the amount? Hari. Hari account will be debited in the entry and he is receiver of cash. So the account of cash will be credited as cash has gone out. So entry will be Hari to cash. Okay. Then we move on to the next, that is impersonal account. In impersonal account, there can be, first of all, we are going to deal with real account. The account of all those things whose value can be measured in terms of money and which are the properties of business are termed as real accounts. It can be cash, furniture, machine, building and goodwill. The rule says that debit what comes in and credit what goes out. According to this rule, whenever any property comes into the business, it will be debited, and when it goes outside the business, it will be credited. Example, if furniture of 10,000 has been purchased for cash, furniture account should be debited according to the rule, debit what comes in. And while cash account should be credited according to the rule, credit what goes out. So entry will become furniture account debit to cash account. Okay, now this real account can further be classified into tangible and intangible. So tangible real accounts are those which can be touched, felt, measured or purchased. Examples are stock, cash, furniture, land, building. It should be noted that bank is not a real account, but it is an artificial person since it represents the account of banking company. Then we move on to intangible. These accounts represents which cannot be touched, but of course they have some value in money. Example can be goodwill account, patents account, trademarks accounts and copyrights account. Then we move on to the nominal account. What is that? These accounts includes the accounts of all the expenses and incomes. The examples of nominal accounts relating to expenses are salary paid, rent paid, discount allowed, bad debts. The examples of nominal account relating to incomes are commission received, interest received, discount received. So rule is debit the expenses and losses and credit the income and gains. We can take examples of it. Pay 20,000 rupees for salary. In this case, two accounts will be affected, salaries and cash. Salary is represent the expense and salary will be debited according to debit the expenses. On the other hand, cash will be credited according to the rule that credit what goes out. So what will be the entry? Entry will be salary account debit to cash account. That is debit the expenses and credit what goes out. Now we can take one more example, that received rupees 5,000 for commission. In this case, two accounts will be affected, commission and cash. Commission is a nominal account and represents an income. As such, commission will be credited according to the rule of credit the incomes. Cash is a real account and cash is coming in. Therefore, cash will be debited according to the rule of debit what comes in. Okay. So, entry will be cash account debit. So, debit what comes in, to commission, credit the incomes. Okay. So, basically what we have to do in this chapter, first of all, we need to understand that every transaction has at least two effects. Okay, sometimes it can be more, but the amount of debit and the amount of credit, the total amount of debit and credit will remain equal every time. Then we need to classify the items or any transaction on the basis of personal and impersonal, and accordingly we need to classify them as real account and nominal account also. What are the things that will lie in real and what are the things that will lie in nominal. And then the most important, we need to know the rule regarding that particular account. For personal account, what is the rule? Okay, then for real account, what is the rule? Then for nominal account, what are the rules? Because when we will be doing the journal entries, we will be doing the journal entries on the basis of double entry system, and what are the rules for that particular amount or for that particular thing that we are dealing with. We are dealing with cash, or we are dealing with goodwill, or we are dealing with rent or salaries or any fixed asset. It can be furniture or machinery. So the basic thing, we need to know that what will be debited and what will be credited according to double entry system. So you can prepare the notes of this chapter and you can classify them accordingly, what the chart I have also prepared. In the next video, we are going to move ahead with the next chapter. Up till then, you take care and goodbye, children.